So this is an interesting question. If the Jews, well, namely the leaders of the Jews, the Pharisees, the scribes, the lawyers, the teachers of the law, if they knew the scriptures so well, wouldn't they have been disposed to then receive the Messiah, to receive Jesus as their promised Messiah? I mean, it was prophesied clearly in the Old Testament about him, and yet they rejected him. And how is that? How is that possible? And the answer is, if it had affected them, if the Word of God had affected them as God meant it to be, yeah, that would have been a different story. But anyway, so this is an interesting thought that the Word of God kind of came in, made some impressions, but it did not abide with them. Okay, it was not constantly in them. It was so John 15:7 is the verse, if you abide in me and my words abide in you. So Jesus is saying that this needs to be, his words need to abide, like a constant dwelling, like kind of like a man at home, not just someone. It's not an Airbnb situation for the Word of God, where the Word of God comes in, takes lodging for a few days, and then off it goes, and and then it doesn't affect me anymore. But actually, this is what he spoke of there in John 15:7, and this was really, in a way, their problem. So yesterday we spoke about how the Word of God was kind of an external influence, or maybe it went in, but it wasn't abiding with them. So what are we talking about abiding with them, like dwelling within? So 119, 133, that of course Psalm 119 speaks so much about the Word of God, but this verse, order my steps in your word, and let not any iniquity have dominion over me. So this is a powerful verse. Order my steps in your word. Okay, so this is like, I want my steps to follow in the pattern of your words. So this is where we say in our lives, okay, so my life will be submitted to your word. My decisions, my steps, my direction, the way I act, the way I live is going to be submitted. It's going to be ordered by your word. This is my desire. In a recent service, we talked about how it's not enough to say in our hearts, okay, God, do whatever you want, but that never works. What works is, I want the will of God. I seek hard after the will of God. I embrace the will of God. I desire it. I push after it. That's how it works. So this verse, 119, 133, is exactly that desire expressed. Order my steps in your word, and let not any iniquity have dominion over me. I want your word to have dominion over me, and for that word to kind of crowd out the iniquities that would be so native to my heart, sadly. And this is how I want to live. And this is what the Pharisees, what the leaders of people in that day did not do. They were not willing to say in their lives. They were not willing to say in their lives, yes, I want this, I desire this, and therefore they could not see who the Lord was. And this is sort of a warning for us. If the Word of God is not so in my life, will I then see the Lord for who He is? Kind of a scary thought, but also this thought lays out a very good direction for us to live in, to go in, to think in. So God bless your day with that truth.